What's going on, people? I'm Swavor, along with Coco Love, Illuminated Lenses, a journey to be great, and this is Opinionated Facts. And on this podcast, we talk about breaking news and current event analysis. And sometimes we talk about some other things as well, but you know how we do. We don't like to have all that fluff, man. We're going to get right into it. So go ahead and start us off with what you got today, journey to be great.
I came across an article on TMZ talking about body positivity is killing Americans. So Bill Maher, he's a actor, comedian, and political commentator. He's best known for his show on HBO that's called Real Time with Bill Maher. He was having a discussion and he was talking about obesity in America. And he asked the question, have you ever seen a fat 90-year-old? And I can't say that I have. He was just mentioned that in America today, there's kind of glorifying obesity. He also mentioned a story in US Today where scientists was asking the question, how can they solve obesity? And one reason, people would be more active, stop eating so much junk food, that would help. And he also quoted an article in New York Times, which stated that poor diet is the leading cause in mortality in the USA. And he also went on to say that anyone that embraces obesity has blood on their hands. So it reminded me, I seen recently, I'm not sure if y'all familiar with the model Tess Holliday. She's an obese model and she kind of promotes the whole body positivity thing. So she recently posted a picture on Instagram that was saying fatter, happier, and hotter. And so with the whole, for me, just looking at the whole body positivity culture, I feel like a lot of it is fake, and a lot of people that may want to lose weight and just don't have the willpower to do so may kind of gravitate to that community to make them try to feel better about themselves. Because me being someone that was overweight, I was not happy and I didn't think it wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun time for me. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think this body positivity is causing a bigger issue for obesity in America?
I would say it. Yeah, I can see how at least. To me, when I think of body positivity, and I feel like maybe people are just using it wrong, maybe. But when I've seen it, and I think that it has before applied to women or people in general, not just women, but if you have something about your body that you don't like, that you really can't change without surgery. For example,
that's how it started, like for burn victims and people that may have been born, a certain way. That's how it initially started, but then it seemed like it got hijacked for, with obese
unhealthy.
women.
And not even necessarily like things like that, but just like, for example, I think they call them hip dips. Like, I don't know.
What's a hip dip?
I think that's what they call them, but I'm not 100% sure. But basically, there are some women that and this is how they are naturally shaped this way, but they might have like big thighs and like a big butt, but they don't have hips. And like, obviously they have a hip, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, their shape looks like it's missing a hip. I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't look bad or anything like that, but they don't like the way it looks. Or if, for example, you have like, a smaller breast, for example, that's something you could correct, but you would have to have surgery for that. So to me, that's where body positivity should come in at. It shouldn't come in because being overweight is something that you can change, even if it's just something as simple as a fupa. I mean, now some people say that those don't really go away, but you know what I'm saying? Like stuff that you can actually change by being healthier and changing your lifestyle. You can't make yourself have like hips for real, you know what I'm saying? Or a bigger chest unless you go and get that surgically enhanced. But like, being obese or whatever, I mean, you can do something about that. So I think it's being used wrong. So yeah, when you do use it and you're 100, 200 pounds overweight, then yeah, I think it's being used in the wrong way and it could be causing some issues.
I was just going to say real quick, I mean, it can be helpful, but it can also be hurtful. I feel like if you're working out and everything, you should be, you shouldn't down anybody about their body. If they're actually trying, and it's just because it's harder for some people to lose weight or get into shape and everything. But where it comes where it can be hurtful is when you're not even trying to work out, you're not even trying to eat healthy or do anything. You're just like, well, I'm out of shape and I might have high cholesterol or just that and the third and everything. But love me for me, and it's like, well, you're still hurting yourself. So
that's a good point. But for anybody that's listening to this, if you really want to get that heavy weight off you, man, go ahead and holler at Journey to be great here, because she got it down. I just want y'all to know that. And the next thing I want to say, hip dip sounds like a dance move from the 70s.
Yes, sir.
Y'all want to go out there and hit that hip dip. But no, seriously though, I think you should love yourself regardless. But at the same time, don't use it as an excuse.
Well, what I'm talking about, it doesn't have anything to do with hip dips, but it has something to do with schooling. So I was looking at this survey, and apparently there are more and more Black families that are turning to homeschooling even after the pandemic. One of the main reasons behind this is now, which you say, for instance, if you're doing homeschooling, you don't have to worry about what's being taught to your kid or what's not being taught. You know, a lot of times, you know, Black people, we all know that time in high school when it's Black History Month and they teach you the same old things, Martin Luther King this, and then they'll throw in, you know, Rosa Parks, and then that'll just be the end of it. So we never really get the full effect of, you know, everything that our, you know, all our ancestors have done and what they've invented and everything until we get out of school, maybe in college or sometimes not even in college. So I think that's really helpful. The Census Bureau actually showed that in 2020, it was about 3% of Black families were actually being homeschooled. And in October of that same year of 2020, it actually jumped to 16%. So that's a pretty big jump in those few little months. And it's even saying that it's expected to grow even more and more with these different diseases that constantly come on, like these new variants of COVID or the most recent one of monkeypox. So what do y'all think about that?
I think that's a great thing. I mean, just for so many reasons. I think when I was going to school, especially in the earlier times, and I want to cut off for a second and say, I agree with you too about not knowing about our culture and the history behind just Black history in general and what all went on. And I think that's by design. But I think if you're not looking for it, like you said, you won't know because it's not put into the actual curriculum in most schools. So, but I do want to say that sometimes I think we do need to look at changing the school system. And I think homeschooling is a great solution to that because some kids need different types of methods of being taught. And I think in the traditional school, it's like, hey, this is what we got. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. If you understand, you do. If you don't understand, hey, go to the special ed class and then go from there. So I think that homeschooling is great for so many reasons, as long as it's done right.
I do agree. I think homeschool can definitely be valuable because there's a lot of things that our kids should, especially with public school, a lot of things that our kids should know that they aren't teaching and they won't teach them because they want our kids to grow up and be workers. So I think it can be valuable. And like you mentioned, if it's done right, because I think, you know, I would like to see in public schools, they talk more about stock market and, you know, entrepreneurship perhaps, and just more business type things and more tech, but, you know, we still got a ways to go with that. But I think homeschool can be valuable.
Yeah, I agree. You know, as long as it's like you guys say it's done right, I think it'll be valuable. The only concern, I guess, that I would have for if it was my child, for example, is like the social aspect, because that's another thing that school is good for. It's like so the kids can socialize and everything like that. So, but I mean, that can be solved obviously with extracurricular activity. So it's not a necessity or anything like that. So I think it'd be great for our community and everything.
Well, you guys, this has been a short one. We're not going to be doing too much more talking today. But thank y'all so much for listening to us. As always, we appreciate y'all so much. You know, we just try to come to y'all straight with whatever we got, man. We don't like to keep y'all here all day. But again, I'm here. My name is goddamn. Again, I am Swavor, Coco Love, Illuminated Lenses, the journey to be great. This is Facts. And until next time, you guys, peace.